रोहित आप स्टार्ट करिए, आप पार्टिसिपेंट ज्वाइन करते रहेंगे, टीम साहब वेट कर रहे हैं।
जी सर।
मैं सोच रहा था कि 200-300 लगभग ज्वाइन कर लेते, लेकिन वो करते रहेंगे ज्वाइन, आप स्टार्ट करिए।
कोई नहीं अंकुर जी, वी कैन वेट फॉर 5-6 मिनट्स।
ठीक है सर, फिर तो बहुत बढ़िया रहेगा सर, अगर तीन
हाँ
मिनट की मोहलत दे देंगे आप।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, वी कैन वेट, नो इश्यू।
हेलो सर, ऑडिबल सर? अंकुर सर?
हाँ, आवाज आ रही है, आपकी आवाज आ रही
शुरू करें सर?
है। बस 200 पहुंच जाने तो 185 हो गए, 15 बचे हैं बस। फिर
जी सर।
स्टार्ट कर देंगे, फिर अपना जुड़ते रहेंगे। सर ने
जी।
अनुमति तो दी है, 1 मिनट और मैं निवेदन कर लूंगा।
जी सर।
रोहित जी स्टार्ट करिए।
Visual, sir.
हाँ, यस यस यस।
So very welcome everyone to this 21 days international training program, and very welcome Dr. MC Jain, sir. And
Namaste,
thank
sir.
you so
Good evening.
much for giving us time from your busy schedule. So let me introduce Dr. MC Jain to all of you. So Dr. MC Jain was born in December 1969 in Tong district of Rajasthan. Sir has completed his graduation and post-graduation from a well-known 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 College of Agriculture with gold medal. And Sir has completed his doctorate from MPUAT Udaipur. And Sir has very vast work experience. Sir has worked as assistant professor in 1996 and also served as chief scientist and head of KVK Bundi in 2001. Further selected as associate professor in 2005 and served as head department of fruit science at College of Horticulture, Jalwar for more than 6 years. Currently, Sir is working as Dean at the College of Agriculture, Kota since 2018, and he's a recipient of Junior Research Fellowship at national level and served in many committee of academics at university, state, and ICR level. Sir has more than 100 research papers, articles, book chapters in national and international journals in his name. And during Sir's tenure, Sir has guided more than 20 PG students as chairperson. So very welcome, sir, to this session, and all hands down to you. We can continue with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Now it is visible, sir.
यस सर, यस सर, परफेक्टली।
Okay. नहीं ये कर देना। हाँ पीपीटी कर ये इसको चला जाएगा। Okay. Good evening to all, dear friends. As I have been introduced by the host, I am Dr. MC Jain, currently working as a Dean, College of Agriculture, Kota, in Agriculture University, Kota. The topic is assigned to me is the National Education Policy 2020 and its role in the development of rural agriculture. So I would like to express my views regarding this particular topics. Next. Next. है? Yes, ये लाइन क्यों नहीं जा रही?
यस सर, स्लाइड चेंज हो गई, आप कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं सर।
सर इस पे कोई एक रो आ रही है ऊपर, लेट मी फिनिश इट।
ठीक है, आप आराम से करिए सर। वैसे पीपीटी आपकी मूव कर रही है, मुझे आपका दिख रहा है ये फैक्ट्स ऑफ द इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर एंड रूरल इकोनॉमी।
Yeah, facts of the Indian agriculture and rural economy. As all of you are knowing that the agriculture sector is the biggest sector in Indian economy, and it is wholly depend on the rural people. It's very much factors known to each and everyone is the first of all, it is the source of livelihood. Particularly, you know that the agriculture is the biggest sector and it is a source of livelihood for the rural people. Around more than 54% Indian population is directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture for its livelihood. That means it is the biggest sector and needs for its improvement for the development of the rural people or the rural economy. Number two is the agriculture is it contributes a lot to the GDP of the national, and as we know that the more than 18% contribution of the agriculture in national GDP in last year. It means in 22 or 23, it was around 18%, though it is declining from the 23 or 24 as the service sector or the industrial sectors are coming up. So the contribution of the agriculture is certainly declining, but still it is a biggest sector for the GDP of the national, particularly the agriculture sector. Then third one is the source of industrial development. As you know that the raw material, that is especially the agricultural produce or agricultural commodities which are required for the development of the industries as a input, because none of the industries can survive without the output of the agriculture, without the input of the agriculture. So agriculture is play a very big role for the industrial development. Therefore, the overall development of the industry is directly or indirectly depend on the agriculture. So we have to improve, we have to make the productive the agriculture sector by any of the way. So industry development is also depend directly on the development of the agriculture, particularly in the rural areas or in areas where its potentiality is there. Then fourth one is the, as you know that the food and nutritional security is very important for the for any of the human being. Uh, we are exporting even some of the foods. So presently, it is a production of the food grain is more than 350 million tons of the food grains. And as far as horticultural produce is concerned, it is more than 354 million tons. So both food as well as the nutritional security is very important. Food is produced by most of the our agronomical crops, while the nutritional security is directly depends on the our horticultural produce, where you know that there are five major elements of our nutritional or the food, that means carbohydrate, protein and fats. These three fundamental things are being provided to the body by the agronomical crops, while vitamins and the minerals, they are completely provided by the horticultural produce. So we are number two in horticultural production as far as the world production of horticultural crops is concerned, next only to China. So it means there is a tremendous scope to improve. Again, these both the factors, including the agronomical crops as well as the horticultural crops. So this sector means, I mean to say that this sector is fulfills our food requirement, our nutritional requirements, so need to be strengthened. Then next one is the foreign exchange. You know the Indian economy or the Indian GDP, including the industrial development, is largely depend on the agriculture sector. But still, we are very much lacking in the foreign or in the export of these the produce or the products or the commodities which are being produced in the agriculture or in the horticultural sector. Meager only 2% production, meager only the 2% production of the horticultural produce is being exported to various countries from the India. Especially the mango and the pineapple and the spices are the biggest commodity out of the horticultural produce. However, some of the other agronomical produce, including the potato and the vegetable and some of the rice and the wheats, are also being produced in enormous quantity in India and being exported to many of the countries where it is required. Presently, we are earning more than $5 trillion from the our export of the agricultural produce. So there is a still, I want to say there is a still need to process some of the horticultural produce, some of the agricultural produce for their betterment, for their value addition, for their export, for the much foreign exchange or for much earning of the foreign exchange. So it is also required to be done, or it is required to be work out on this aspect also. Last one is the rural development catalyst. As you know that the Indian rural, especially the rural population or the rural people or the rural communities are mostly dependent on the agriculture. 95% rural economy is depend on the agriculture. So by the development of the agriculture itself, it will develop the rural people or it will act as a catalyst for the rural development, particularly in the areas which are potential for the production of the horticultural crop, production of the spices crop, production of the agronomical crops, or any of the you can say any of the sector of agriculture is required to be strengthened, particularly in rural areas where most of the output from the agriculture is being produced in that areas. So these all these factors are actually the important facts, or you can say the basics of the agriculture for development of the rural economy. So I next. So the priorities of the Indian agriculture and rural development. What are the priorities to develop the agriculture, particularly to develop the rural economy? These are some of the sectors which are to be addressed very carefully, very imperatively, and very deliberately are to be addressed, particularly adoption of technology. So many technologies are being developed by various research stations, including the many of the climate resilient technologies, many of the biofortified varieties, many of the technologies which are being required to produce higher valued crops, but most of them are not being transferred in that particular rural areas. So it is very much required to express, or to it should be extended to the people which are being used these technologies. So adoption of the technologies means the rural people are very much lazy, or I should say very much poor to adopt any of the technologies. So this is very important aspect to address the need of the rural development. Then the research and development, this is a very important fact. Still there is a gap, there is a there is a poor performance of the research as well as the development, particularly in the agriculture or for the rural development. So there is a need to flow the finance in the research for the development, so that some more technologies, some more varieties, some more pest and disease resistant varieties, some more climate resilient technologies can be developed, can be produced, or can be transferred to the farmers of particularly rural areas, so that we can strengthen our ultimate goal, so that we can strengthen our farmers or the community which is being produced a lot for all of us. So this part is still lacking, so it should be addressed properly for the development of the agriculture, particularly in rural areas. Then infrastructure enhancement. All of you are knowing that the poor infrastructure facilities may cause the spoilage of fruits and vegetables, spoilage of the food grains. About 10 to 12% food grains are being spoiled by any of the regions. It may be destroyed by the mouse, it may be destroyed by many of the insect pests which are being stored, which are the pest of the storage. And many of the fruit and vegetable are of perishable in nature. They cannot be stored for longer time. They cannot be added into value products without the infrastructure. So there is a need of infrastructure development, infrastructure enhancement for storage, even for value addition, even for keeping our produce in a healthy way, keeping our produce for longer time, to increase shelf life of fruits and vegetables. Infrastructure is much essential, and it is to be strengthened or enhanced to that level, so that each and every rural people can store its perishable item to that particular infrastructure for longer time, so that they can earn much more from out of their produce. Financial accessibility. Financial accessibility is very important part. Without finance, no enterprises can be run so smoother. We know that the most of the finance is being governed by the various banks which are being installed in so many villages, or at block level, or at tehsil level. But the accessibility to these financial resources by the farmers is very poor. So financial accessibility to the each and every producer is most important. And ultimately, if the financial resources will be strengthened, financial loaning part is strengthened, banking will be strengthened, or the accessibility will be easier for the farmers. Definitely they will use the technologies and adoption. I was saying the adoption of the technologies, research and other development will definitely take place. So financial accessibility of the farmers, of the industrialists, of the human being who are directly or indirectly involved in agriculture sector is need to be addressed, so that this part is very important and required for the rural development or strengthen the agriculture in India. So next one is the market linkages. The market linkages is still very poor. The farmers are not joining each other, not producing the FPOs. Farmer producer organization are not much there, not self-help group are up to that extent. So they can link the market, they can they can link the specialized market, so that if the produce is specialized, much more production is there of any particular crop, it can be sold out in a particular market to get the maximum return to the farmers. So there is a still need of the market linkages. We have to address this need, that how the produce can be ultimately reached to the consumer through the market chain. It is also important to, so that the producer can get more income and the consumer can get at lesser price. So we have to reduce the the margin of this chain from producer to the consumer. There is a enormous losses or enormous cost of the cost of the marketing. So we have to address this also, this fact also, that market linkages has to be strengthened for proper earning to the farmers or the producer of the agricultural produce. Next one is the climate adaptations. Yeah, this is the very big issue, and each and everyone is knowing that the climate is changing very rapidly. The temperature is rising, the rainfall is erratic, so many other factors are there, including the gases which are harmful for the plants are increasing. Sulfur dioxide is there, nitrous oxide is there, then carbon dioxide is also increasing by the CFC or the greenhouse effect are there, and all these are affecting the production or the quality or the growth of the plants. So this is also one of the important priorities of Indian agriculture, which is to be addressed. Though I know so many technologies are coming up from the research to address the need of the climate change, still the farmers are not adopting. The region may be anything, but the technologies are not that much that the farmer can adopt it easily and they can mitigate the effect which are being caused by this particular climate changes. Last one is the education and extension services. Education and extension services both are different. Education extension is the part where the technologies which are being developed in the labs or in the fields or in the research station or in any of the institutes, they are to be transferred ultimately to the user. And you know the users are either the farmer or the entrepreneur or any of the person who are directly or indirectly involving in the agriculture production system. So how we can educate the people which are being transfer the technologies to the ultimate user is very important. So this part is also need to be strengthened. The development of the technologies will not fulfill the requirement until and unless it is reached to the ultimate user, or it is being used by the farmer, or it is being used by the grower. It does not fulfill its objective, it does not fulfill its motto. So there is a need to address this particular point, and this is also one of the priorities of the Indian agriculture for the rural development. Now, I want to come on the topic is the national education policy. Some of the facts you know. This education policy, particularly which was launched in 2020 in 2020, it was particularly prepared by a committee under the chairmanship of Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, and it was submitted to the center government on 31st May 2019. And after deliberations, after discussions, after thorough critical views, it was finally implemented by Honorable Prime Minister of the India on 29 July of 2020. You know, earlier to this, there was a policy which was implemented in 1986. This policy, which was implemented in 1986, was replaced by new education policy 2020 after 34 years, of long period. The aim of this policy is the to change the country's education system, particularly how we can grow our new generation to the holistic way. That is a particularly aim. This may includes the agriculture, the more holistic development of the student. It should be flexible and multidisciplinary. You know, a student can study the agriculture as well as some other subject, including the arts or commerce, anything. That is a multidisciplinary approach should be there. Then learning through online platform aligned with the need of the 21st century. This is the particular aim. That means if we can say the holistic, the overall development of the student which is required, and this policy advocate only those things which needs to be for the development of the student in a holistic way. Not only the education, it should be skill oriented. This was the aim. It provides the immense potential to revitalize the agriculture education and empower the rural economy by integrating the diverse approaches, hands-on training, and modern technologies to cultivate a more skilled, innovative agriculture workforce. You know, the agriculture education is a very important part of education. It provides the skill orientation, skill development, learning by doing, hands-on training. Various diverse approaches are there in agriculture and allied sectors. By using the modern technologies, so that we can inculcate the skills in the rural yuwas, in the agriculture graduates or the postgraduates, so that we can produce the workforce for development of the agriculture, which is required to bring the nation at number 1 level. Presently we are number 2, next only to China. So we need to be the number 1 by bringing the workforce in this sector, by implementing this particular national education policy 2020. Consequently, the policy has the capacity to transform agriculture education, leading to sustainable development, empowering the rural economy, and thereby fostering the prosperity in rural areas. So you know that this agriculture education is transform the capacity of the rural youth towards its skill, and that skill can be utilized for the in the production system, which will ultimately leads to the sustainable development in the agriculture, which empowers the rural economy and which will foster the prosperity in the rural areas or the people which are residing in the rural areas. So this education policy, I would like to say, last I would like to say that this national education policy is particularly depend on the development of the agriculture in rural areas, from where most of the production is coming out. So the rural yuva will certainly be benefited by use of this policy. So this is the overview. National education policy can empower the agriculture and rural economy in India by providing a comprehensive framework for transforming the education to boost the agriculture sector and invigorate rural economies. You know, this education policy is comprising of so many points. The earlier was different and the present is different. So earlier it was for 2 years, that is foundation, then preparatory, then middle, and secondary. Earlier it was 2 years of 11th and 12th was secondary. Now it is called as 4 year of the secondary, 9th and 12th. And you can say in the right side, you can see the major hits. What are the major areas of National Education Policy 2020 in Indian education sector? You know, the so many points which are to be linked, which are to be addressed, and which are to be implemented for overall or for the holistic development of the students, particularly who is going to pass out the any degree program from any of the universities, including the agriculture or the allied sector. You can see the ultimate aim is focus on the skill development. That means the education policy overall development, the first of all, there should be the skill development. There is not only the changes in the knowledge. There is not only the motto to change in the knowledge, to increase the knowledge, to bring the level of knowledge, but there should be the improvement, there should be the increase in the skill of any of the graduate or any of the passing out students. So it is very important part of the this education policy. Number two, you can see the increasing inclusivity in early education. You know, in the rural areas, some of the students are not getting that much facilities that required at that desired at particular stage, and some of the urban in urban areas, students are getting most of the facilities. So National Education Policy 2020 is advocating that there should be the equal opportunities of the students, whether he is studying in the rural areas or studying in the urban areas. So by providing the scholarship, by providing the any facilities, by strengthening the rural education institutes, we can provide the equal opportunities of the student in urban as well as in rural areas. Next one is the focus on the open distance learning. So right now, the some of the institutes does not allow the distance learning among the rurals or among the youth or among the students. So this policy is also advocating the distance learning program from various institutes. Then establishment of the NRF, this National Research Foundation, is very important part. The research part in the agriculture plays a very important role for generation of the technologies, for generation of the so many varieties, for generation of the required things to address the need, to address the feedback received from the farming community. This National Research Foundation is to be established so that most of the problems or most of the needs or most of the things can be addressed in a right way. So this National Education Policy 2020 is advocating and also suggesting to the Indian government to provide the enormous or the required money or the financial assistance to the institutes for the development of the national research foundations or the national research organization, so that the address of the agriculture can be the need of the agriculture research can be can be done very in a simple way. Then emphasis on the multidisciplinary education. Presently, what is going on? A student enters in any of the institute to get the degree. But now this National Education Policy 2020 is advocating that any of the student, if he is having the choice, he want to know about the agriculture, he can take the admission in agriculture, and thereafter he is interested in some other business class or in some other the other type of study in other faculty, he can be switch over to that particular institute for those subjects which are of his or her interest. So multiple disciplinary approach is given by this particular National Education Policy 2020, which is being to be implemented very soon and to be addressed or to be utilized or to be made available for the students. Then multiple entry and exit system. This is very important, and most of the universities are not adopting this particular phase, this particular point of the national education policy, well, multiple entry and exit point should be there. If a student is admitted for 1 year, it should be given some diploma type, or if it is for more years, study in a particular college or the any of the institutes, he should be given the degree or the diploma or the advanced diploma according to its preference or according to time spent in the college or according to the credit completed by his or herself. Then continuous and holistic assessment. The holistic assessment, समग्र विकास किसी भी स्टूडेंट का समग्र विकास is very important. This national education policy 2020 is completely depend on this particular word, that is the holistic development. So to assess the student whether the changes are there, whether changes are not there, whether the student what is requiring, whether we are fulfilling the requirement of the student, these things to be addressed properly, to be assessed properly. And if it is not being done, the we can say that we can again we have to do we have to do more efforts to bring the holistic changes in that particular student or that particular scholar. The medium of technology and language education, the medium of instruction should not be restricted. It may be Hindi, it may be English, it may be any of the regional language. The ultimate motto is to develop to develop the skill or to develop the holistic development of the student. So this is not should be the restriction of any of the student, that there is a need of the there should not be the foundation of the language to the students. So these are the key points of the national education policy and their solutions. This is the one of the biggest point. Each and everyone knows that the multidisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary universities, state agriculture universities, particularly I am talking about the agriculture and allied subject. State agriculture universities in the country are offering 11 bachelor's programs, means already multidisciplinary. They are offering the engineering, they are offering the home science, they are offering the horticulture, they are offering the forestry, they are offering the agriculture. Means we universities, matlab agriculture universities are offering multidisciplinary approach is there and offering 11 bachelor's degree program and 90 master's and doctoral degree program specialized in including the agriculture, horticulture, food technology, dairy technology, fisheries, sericulture, biotechnology. Means I want to say that we have most of the agriculture universities have implemented this multidisciplinary approach in their universities, and or I rightly I should say the agriculture universities were already multidisciplinary universities in the country. However, still collaboration is required with other institutes or the organization so that we can incorporate some other courses related to agriculture and allied sciences. Therefore, holistic education will be provided in subjects which are in synchronization. Means collaboration with the other universities. Suppose some of the universities are not having the agriculture engineering subject and having the horticulture, but any one of the horticultural student want to be the horticulture engineering for processing purpose, for value addition, then it should be collaborated with the agriculture engineering side or the agriculture engineering institute, so that we can provide a horticultural graduate about the horticulture engineering. Likewise, some of the agriculture student want to be the entrepreneurship for the fisheries, then it should be collaborated and we should provide some of the education about the fisheries or the sericulture or the food technology, or maybe the choice or maybe the requirement which are synchronized with each other. So this part should also be taken into consideration. Then next one, and the second point of this national education policy is to provide the multiple entry and exit option for the student. Out of so many issues which were raised by this national education policies, for the improvement of the student, for the improvement of the higher agriculture education system. This is the still a part, this is still the requirement that how we can adopt, how we can implement the multiple entry exit option for the student. The ICAR at the national level, that is our regulatory authority, regulatory body at national level, is also implemented this national education policy with certain changes, with certain time period. So this multiple entry and exit option is also to be implemented for the student. The course curriculum at the UG level can be modified. We know the 6th Dean Committee has already been working on it, and they have modified most of the syllabus according to multiple entry exit options for the student. They are producing so many modules according to need, according to job requirement, according to market demand, or in the perspective of the today's need, so that student should can get at least either certificate or the diploma or the degree as the specified period or the duration of his or her study being spent in the college. If a student who has completed the 1 year of its degree program, he should be awarded a certificate for its job or for market demand or any of. So modules means the module of the first year should be like that, that if student complete the first year, there should be a proper modules, there should be the proper requirement of the student which need to be addressed within a year. We have to offer those courses, those models for the student, which is to be given the certificate about that particular course, so that it can be utilized for its future use. Then next is, if a student completes the 2 years of its degree program, he or she should be awarded a diploma. The 2 year program should be a little bit bigger, should be a little bit more credit, should have the one or more than this modules for that particular student, so that he can get the diploma, and diploma should be used by him or her to get the job, to receive the to get the market demand, or so that he can earn something out of it. Third one, the advanced diploma. If a student completes the 3 years of degree program and he want to leave the college after 3 years, then he should be awarded the advanced diploma. And these 3 years should be integrated. The courses during these 3 years should be in collaboration, should be in integration to one or other, so that if he leaves the college in 3 years before completing the degree program, he should be awarded the advanced diploma, so that he can get the job on the basis of this diploma in the market as per demand or as per need of the market, because he is having the specialization, he is having the skills of that diploma, and he has spent the 3 years in the college to get or to upgrade his knowledge based on the various modules which were being offered to him or her during the last 3 years. So this is also one of the issue. And presently we are offering the honors degree program if a student completes the 4 years of its degree program. So this is also one of the part, that 4 year degree program should be matlab for 4 year. If he completes the 4 year, he will be awarded the degree or the degree with honors, as really happening in most of the agriculture or allied universities. So this is the multiple entry and exit option being propagated by the ICAR in all the universities which are being regulated by that particular organization. Third one is the integration of the vocational modules with the professional programs. You know, this agriculture degree program is already been notified by the ICAR is a professional degree. So this professional degree should have some vocational modules. some entrepreneurial skill module, so that if a student is having the degree of agriculture or the diploma in agriculture or in allied subject, he can get, he may be the professional in that particular subject. That the curriculum is to be required to be revamped completely for reorienting the degree program towards the skill development. You know, sixth dean committee is doing these things. They are revamping the courses. They are producing some of the modules. They're reorienting the degree program so that the graduate or the student which are going through that particular curriculum may have the skill, may have the ability for self employment, may have the entrepreneurship skill, or they can earn their livelihood based on the public practice as professional, because agriculture sector has great potentiality for self employment and entrepreneurship. This is the biggest sector. Still, this is the biggest sector for self employment. So the government is this particularly this national education policy is advocating that the graduates from the agriculture or the the diploma holder from the agriculture should have the ability, should have the capacity for the self employment or entrepreneurship skill, so that they can learn, they can earn from out of this, and they can make this as a source of their livelihoods. So the integration of vocational modules with this professional program is very much essential. One of the significant feature of national education policy is the inclusion of vocational education from the class 6 onwards. You know, presently there is a agriculture education from the 11th class. Now this education policy, the 2020, is advocating, is saying, is wants that there should be the education, is particularly the vocational education should be started from 6th class onwards, so that they can learn at early stage. By introducing the student to agriculture education early, the policy aims, its motto is to build a foundational understanding of farming practices. If a student will enter to the agricultural sector as early as possible, so that he or she can learn about the farming practices, about sustainability, about the various modern agricultural technologies which are being developed, which are being implemented, which are being utilized by the farming community. This integration ensures the students must be well versed in practical skills that are directly applicable to their local agricultural context, because most of the students which are coming out from the rural areas and they are coming in the higher educations, particularly in the colleges, they are not still well versed about the practical knowledge of agriculture field. So this national education policy is very much useful, very much utilizable, and advocating and saying that the student from the class 6 should be introduced towards the vocational courses, particularly agriculture and its allied fields, so that they can learn at early stage, they can use their skill at higher stage, they can earn out of it, they can make it the source of their livelihood. Then National Education Policy 2020 also fosters an entrepreneurship mindset among the students. More startup can be encouraged by establishing incubation center. So you know that the education not only will improve the skill, there is a still need of establishing incubation center, skill development center, or even technological parks by the universities which are providing the education in the agriculture or allied subjects, so that we can create the new business sectors in rural areas. We can create, we can improve, we can increase the job opportunities to our rural youth. We can enhance the economic development of the rural areas. So there is a still need for developing the more startup in this sector, and that can be encouraged, that can be achieved only by establishing incubation center, skill development center, technological park, or any of the other parts, or any of the other things that can improve the job opportunities among the rural peoples. Next is the research and innovations. This is the biggest part, and it is the today's need. If the national education policy does not advocate this part, then still it is need, and it is the required for the development of this sector, for the development of the rural youth, for the development of the agriculture sector, so that we can increase the our share or international GDP. This research and innovation, it promotes the agriculture. By promoting the agriculture research, by establishing new research organization to increase agriculture productivity and sustainability. As this national education policy advocates that there should be the establishment of national research foundations, so that we can do the better research, we can do the more research, we can innovate some of the new technologies, we can invent the some of the things which are to be required and which can be utilized useful for the overall growth and the development of the agriculture sector. The some of the policies which can also be encouraged by the government or the private sector, so that we can invest more money among the agriculture research or the innovations for development and dissemination of the technologies, so that rural economy can be improved or overall agricultural sector can be strengthened, its outcome may be increased. So research and innovation part is very important, or we can say the investment should be increased in agriculture research and the extension part of the agricultural technologies to get this to fulfill this objective. National education policy also advocates professional development of the faculties by 2030, and also to maintain the student teacher ratio 30:1. This is the biggest issue. Some of the teachers are not, maybe not much qualified, maybe not that having that much skill to develop the student in that professional, to develop the in the student professionalism. So advocate this national education policy is advocating that the each and every teacher which are being involved in skill development of the rural youth or the student, they should be trained first, and each and every teacher should be trained by 2030. And the next point is that the student teacher ratio should be 30:1. Presently this ratio is much wider, much wider. I would like to say that maybe the 50:1 or more than that. So that if you want to improve, you want to the development of the student, you want to the development of rural youth who is coming to the colleges or the institution, the teacher student ratio should be 30:1 or lesser than that. So we need that the quality of the teacher must be required. First one. Secondly, the ample quantity of ample number of the teacher, the required number of teachers or the required number of the instructor must be there. A single teacher cannot handle the more than 30 students at any cost. If he want to inculcate the skill, if he want to improve its knowledge, if he want to develop a student in a holistic manner. So this ratio should be maintained by recruiting some more teacher in higher agriculture education institutes, including the research institutes. Last one is to increase use of digital tools. This is the today's need, artificial intelligence and machine learning in agriculture. is very important. No, the drones technologies, the some robotic technologies, some other technologies, cutting edge technologies are there to increase the production in the agriculture sector. This part may catching the information on weather pattern, and we can issue the forecast for the crop so that we can save the crop in time. If the information is being forecasted in time, we can save our crops. So forecasting is totally depend on the artificial intelligence. Understanding soil health through digital soil testing kit, it is also very much required, because the soil health or the soil physical, biological and chemical condition should be known, so that we can apply the required quantity of fertilizer, so that we can apply the organic matter, so that we can apply the required things in the soil, so that the soil health cannot be deteriorated, and we can get the full crops out of it. So understanding the soil health is very important, and it can be achieved only by digital soil testing kits. So use of it is also very important in so research. This is also part of research and innovation. Utilizing mobile apps for crop management and pest control. So many diseases, so many pests, so many insects, and so many other are the pest of the crops, and most of the crops are being damaged by the crop pest, by the insect pest, or by the weeds, or by any of the things. So there is a need of mobile app, so that farmer can identify a particular pest, farmer can identify a particular disease, farmer can identify the anything problem, the physiological disorder which is being happening in that particular crop, so that he can take the measures accordingly. Otherwise, the prophylactic spray, or you can say the spray or the use of any chemicals or any pesticide without diagnosing, without knowing the disease, without knowing the problem, is not good for the health of human being as well as for the soil, not good for the health of the crop also. So utilizing the mobile app is much compulsory at farmer point of view. Therefore, this national education policy is also advocating that we have to develop, we have to innovate, we have to provide the mobile apps to the ultimate user, to the grower, for the crop management as well as for the pest control. Then next one is the accessing the market price and selling produce online. The market price and selling produce, it is different drastically. Sometimes when the seasonal glut is there in the market, the price will comes down, the price will fall down, and farmers are not having the much space for the storage. Therefore, he has to sell out his or her produce at the same price whatever available in the market. So prices are fluctuation is depend on the demand and supply. If demand is much more and supply is less, the price will be high. If supply is more and demand is less, then the price will come down. So demand and supply should be maintained, and we have to provide the infrastructure for the storage of the perishable commodities of the agriculture. So marketing price and selling produce, or the demand or supply, should also be assessed properly, so that we can provide this knowledge to the farmers by any of the way, by any of the innovative ideas. So whether he want to sell, whether he want to store, whether he want to do, whether he want to harvest, he should know what we have to do to get the maximum benefit. Then last one is the crop insurance. Government has announced the crop insurance and giving some of the incentives on the crop insurance also. But still, farmer is not adopting the crop insurance up to that much level. And the reason behind it is that the crop insurance companies, some of the companies are doing the crop insurance. They are not doing the crop insurance. They are doing the weather insurance. Whether the rainfall is this much, we will not provide the insurance amount, we will not give the anything else, you have to pay the installment, but we will not, if the rainfall is this much, if the temperature is this much, if the weather parameter is this, the climate factor is this, then we will not pay you. Whether the crop is failed or not, that is not the matter of concern for the insurance companies. So this is also one of the issue which is to be addressed properly for the farming community. This fifth point is academic credit bank and choice-based credit system. This is very important point of the national education policy. You know, there is a certain credit points required to complete the degree program of any class. It may be the UG degree, it may be the PG degree, it may be doctoral degree. There is a need of the credit points. So this policy is advocating that there should be the academic credit bank. If a student complete any of the course, its credit should be credited to that particular bank. This is the number one. If he left the college, its bank credit should be there in the college, in the university, or in any of the institute. If he rejoins, he rejoins and he offer the courses which is again 4 or 5 credit, then again it should be added to that bank. So this is the process which is need to be developed in the most of the universities, that there should be the academic bank of credit. Then next one is the choice-based credit system. You know, still there is a fifth Dean Committee in agriculture or in allied subject of agriculture has already been given the choice-based credit system. In the fifth semester onwards, there is a sum of the courses which can be uh, which are choice-based. A student can opt, can adopt, can use any of the course according to his hobby or according to his choice, according to so choice-based credit system is there in agriculture, but academic credit bank is to be added, is to be applied, is to be implemented in most of the universities. It may, because it may facilitate the integration of the campuses, as we already discussed that the collaboration or integration of the campuses or the institute is compulsory for holistic development. So if academic credit bank will be there, we can integrate more campuses at a time. We can provide the education to the student from the more campuses in the many subjects, so that its credit of the courses will be credited in his or her credit bank. And distributed learning system by creating student mobility within the inter or intra university system. A student can move from one institute to another institute within the university or between the university, so that he can earn some of the credit from the one institute and he can earn some more credit from the other institutes, and all the credit will be deposited in credit bank, and depending on the total credits earned by the student, the degree, diploma, or the advanced diploma or the certificate course will be awarded to him. So this is the academic credit bank. It may help the seamlessly integrating skills and experience into the credit based system by providing a credit recognition mechanism. As already been discussed, I have elaborated this. If a student enters in any of the college, he earns some of the credits, it will be deposited in his bank. And if he leave that college and enters to some other college in the same university or in the other university, and if he earns some more credit in that particular institute, that particular university, it will again be deposited in the same bank, and on the basis of total credit earned by that student will be used for awarding the degree, will be used for awarding the diploma, will be used for awarding the certificates to the students. So it is very important part of this national education policy, which is to be required for the development of the student, for the development of the rural economy through the agriculture. She will digitally store academic credits. He is to store the credits which is earned from the recognized higher agriculture education institutes and allow for credit redemption. At last, he may redeem his credit Whatever he has collected the credit, he can redeem at any time to award a certificate, diploma, or the degree. Sixth point of this national education policy is increasing the gross enrollment ratio in the universities by, presently so many universities are having 1, 2, 3 colleges having less than 1,000 students. So this education policy is advocating that no university should have the less than 3,000 students in any case. So we should increase the gross enrollment ratio in these universities, and that can be achieved by increasing the intake capacity in selected and most popular programs. Some of the programs are most popular, and there is a really the need of the student. There is a really queue of the student want to take admission then in that particular program. So we can increase the intake in that particular program. So thereby we can increase the enrollment ratio in that particular university. This is one of the way. Second, we can start more number of vocational certificate or diploma courses. We can increase the programs in the university so that some of the student will get admitted in those programs, and we can increase the enrollment ratio in the universities. And third one, initiating the program in frontier areas, innovating cutting edge technologies such as artificial robotics, big data analytics, genomic studies, biotechnologies, nanotechnologies, then drone technologies, then so many other artificial intelligence and machine learning tools are there. So we can increase some of the modules in the frontier areas where today's need is there. So by initiating such program, the student will definitely be attracted towards such programs to get the skill, to develop the skill, and thereby we can increase the enrollment ratio in the universities, and we can get the desired level of minimum 3,000 students in any of the universities. Then improving access and equity in education. Quality education for all. This is a very big issue. Earlier, I have discussed that this policy ensure that the rural student receive the same quality of education as their urban counterparts by improving educational infrastructure and resources in rural areas. Presently what is happening, what is going on. Some of the students in the rural areas are not getting that opportunity, that infrastructure, that facilities which are being available for the student which are in education institute in urban areas. So this education policy is advocating that the quality of education for all the student, whether is learning, whether it is studying in the rural areas or in the urban areas, should be equal. Equal opportunity should be provided to both the type of the student. He may be from the rural area, he may be from the urban area, he may be from the town, he may be from the city, he may be from the capital, or he may be from any other places. Equal opportunity should be provided to each and every student. So this is also one of the point of the quality education advocated by this national education policy. Then to get the equal opportunities, the financial support and scholarship should be provided to every student which are being enrolled in the rural areas. This policy also ensure that the financial constraint do not prevent rural students from pursuing higher education and vocational training. This is the biggest constraint among the rural youth or the rural students. The financial requirement is not being fulfilled by any of the bank, by any of the other mentor. So government is announced that the financial constraint will not be the proper thing, will not be the issue for getting the higher education or the vocational training of the rural youth. So by providing the scholarship, we can get rid of this particular constraint. Then last one is the holistic and multidisciplinary education. This is the basis. This is the basis, or this is the, we can say, the ultimate aim or ultimate motto or ultimate objective of this national education policy. This promotes a holistic and multidisciplinary approach to education, integrating the subjects like agriculture, environmental science, and economics. These should be integrated. These are correlated with each other. A student who is having the knowledge of agriculture should also have the knowledge of environmental science. He should also have the knowledge of the economics. So these subjects should be integrated with each other. This is one of this. So what presently happening, the student who is passing out from the agriculture is not knowing about the environment, not knowing about the economics, not knowing some other things of the engineering related to agriculture. So these subjects should be integrated so that a graduate passing out from the agriculture or the allied subject should know about the the concerning subject or the collaborative subject or the related subject knowledge, so that he may have the its holistic or the proper development or the skill in that particular area, in that particular subject or that particular field. This broad knowledge base helps student. If a student is having the knowledge of agriculture and its allied field, including the environment, economics, or the engineering, or the dairy technology, or the fisheries, or the sericulture, it will help the student to understand the complexity of the agriculture ecosystem, because agriculture ecosystem is a bigger system. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be know about the environment. It not need to be the agriculture. It not need to be the biodiversity. It need to be the knowledge of the dairy technology, the dairy farming. Each and everything should be known to him. So it will make help to understand the student about complexity of the agriculture ecosystem. It will make inform the decision that benefit the rural economy. Particularly rural economy depend on the agriculture. So to take the decision, what decision should be taken? If he is having the enormous knowledge about the agriculture as well as its allied field, he is strong to take the decision for the benefit of the rural economy. So it will also help in the decision making system of any individual. It will develop a well-rounded perspective on sustainable practices. Sustainable development of agriculture is much important because the production or the productivity is secondary. First and foremost thing is the sustainability. Means the production should be year after year should be same, or it should be increased. It should not be drastically decreased year after year. So sustainability is very important, and this approach will certainly develop the perspective on that particular aspect. Then this is the perspective of national education policy. The national education policy want to shift a 4-year undergraduate degree program. Presently, so many universities are having the 3 years degree program, particularly the arts and the commerce, and in some other field there is a 3-year degree program. But this particular national education policy is saying that the degree program should be of 4 years, and we are happy to say that the agriculture degree program is already 4-year program since long back. The national education policy is mentioned the professional education. Agriculture education is already the professional one. It is already the vocational one. ICR has already announced this, the professional degree. Agriculture or the allied degree program are being notified by the ICR, and they are already professional degree. So we are already fulfilling this part of this national education policy. Hands-on training. This is also very important. That is learning by doing. Students should learn. It should learn by doing, and it should earn also by doing. Earning while learning is also one of the issue of that particular Reddy program. You know, rural entrepreneurship awareness development yojana, which has been launched by the ICAR by implementing the 5th Deans Committee report in agriculture and allied subject, including horticulture, forestry, and the sericulture and whatever. So we are already providing the rural awareness, industry experience, research expertise, and entrepreneurship skill to the agriculture or the allied subject graduates. So this part is also being fulfilled by most of the agriculture universities. One major challenge is to ensure the experiential learning is made available to all students if the multiple entry exit system gets implemented. Presently, we are also experiencing the student through the experiential learning units. Each and every student who is getting the degree in the agriculture or allied sector, but he has to pass the two experiential learning units. So I think multiple entry and exit system, if it is implemented, student should be experienced about this particular experiential learning so that he can learn, he can improve his or her skill in this sector. The option of multiple entry and exit provides student with the opportunity to earn a diploma or a advanced diploma while they are given the choice to re-enter age and when they are able to resume their studies and earn a full college degree program. Means there should be the provision to withdraw the semester. Presently, we are having the withdraw provision to withdraw the semester if any of the student get appointed or the get job in any of the institute or any of the private organization. He can withdraw 1 or 2 semester or more than that according to the rules and regulation being provided by the university. So this education policy is also advocating that if the option of multiple and entry exit, the student should have the opportunity to earn a diploma or advanced diploma. If he rejoins the degree program, he may be given the full degree after certain period of time after completion of this required semester or required credits or the required things which is being fulfilled to complete the degree program. Then the challenges for the implementation of the national education policy. This is the number one, no issue. The funding is much required to implement this particular system or the national education policy. The government has need to be find a way to increase the funding for higher education. Presently, very low funding is there in agriculture and allied subject. So funding should be increased at the center or the state level. Capacity to need the expand the higher education institutes by building new colleges and universities as well as improving the infrastructure of existing institutions. Existing the infrastructure that should be definitely be improved, that should be strengthened, the capacity should be strengthened, the intake should be increased, or we should say the capacity building of the teacher should be there, the teacher student ratio should be 1:30. So these things should be managed or improved. Then the quality that requires the teacher training, introducing more rigorous assessment standards and promoting research and innovation. So to get the quality, all these things is essentially required for the teachers, for the institutes, as well as for the students. Governance, that the decentralization should be there. So the state government or the institution should be given the full freedom to take the decision in right way. So the decentralization of the power is required to get rid of some of the issues. Then the culture, the National Education Policy 2020 aims to create a more learner-centric culture in higher education by changing mindset of the student, teachers, and administrators for development of the new teaching and learning method. You know anything which is कोई भी change जब starting में आता है, that needs to change in the mindset of anyone who is being passed out through that particular change. So this is also important. We have to bring the changes in the teachers. We have to bring the changes in the mind of student. We have to changes in the mind of administrator to develop to implement 100% this national education policy 2020. Then lack of access to higher education. There are number of barriers to access the higher education such as poverty, gender discrimination, lack of infrastructure. Therefore, the government has to take the necessary steps to address the need of such barriers. So this is also one of the challenge to implement this National Education Policy 2020. Quality of teaching and learning. Quality teaching, the government need to address the changes in this area, such as shortage of qualified teachers, the lack of resources, outdated curriculum. Curriculum will certainly be definitely be changed very shortly by implementing the sixth Dean Committee report in agriculture and allied subject. Qualified teachers should be recruited, that there should be sufficient number of teachers so that we can maintain the teacher is to student ratio of 1:30. Then research and innovation, we have already discussed. There is a need of research and innovation for implementing this national education policy. This is the last but not the least an overview of the National Education Policy 2020, which will certainly revolutionize the education system in India. This the foremost benefits of the National Education Policy 2020 is skill for the future. Certainly, we will develop the skill, we will develop the entrepreneurship skill among the rural youth, among the agriculture graduates, among the allied field graduates, so that if skill will be there, certainly they will find their job, certainly they will get their livelihood out of there. Then holistic development, not only the education level should be accessed. This is the very important. The student should be developed in a holistic way. He should develop his mind. He should be socially, emotionally, and physically well-being. This is very important. The holistic development of the student must be there. Flexibility and the choice, we have already discussed that the choice, flexibility and the choice of selecting the subject or the courses or the degree or the diploma or the duration of the course must be there. So it is the benefit of this particular National Education Policy 2020. Experiential learning. To encourage the experiential learning methods where students learn through real world experience, projects, and practical applications so that he or she can experience the learning rather than only the education. Integration of the technologies. Integration is very important. The policy recognizes significance of technologies in education and promotes its integration and enhance the learning outcome and make education accessible. Integration, as I already narrated, I have already discussed in so many issues that the integration of the technology is much required. That means an agriculture graduate should know about the agriculture engineering also, should know about the dairy technology also, should know about the interrelated subject also. So integration of the technologies is being given by this particular education policy 2020. So these are some of the benefits: holistic development, skill improvement, flexibility and choice, experiential learning, or the integration of the technologies which are being required to develop the student, to develop the youth, to develop the rural youth age per demand of the today's today's universe, or we can say today's world. The need is this, and this education policy, if it's fully implemented, certainly will fulfill the requirement as per expectation of our honorable, what I should say, the prime minister sir, who has implemented this this education policy very nicely and effective manner for the benefit of each and everyone, including the student, including the researchers, including the policy makers, including the administrator, or including the industrialist. Each and everyone certainly will get benefit out of it if it will be implemented to that much extent as it is having. Thus, it is requiring some more time to be implemented fully. So with these words, I should say thanks to each and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful and informative session. Hello, sir. I'm audible to you.
Yes, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir. So I'm just enable the chat box, and if someone has any query, they can ask in the chat box.
Yeah, certainly. Chat box. If anyone is having any queries, I am here to reply. I think there are no much queries.
No, sir, we have queries. The first,
First one is the
very first one, the very informative session, sir. And can we have the PPT? The next is Ritu Sharma. Thank you, sir, for such an informative and what much required session. And the first question is from Dr. Ashutosh. And the question is, does the education policy match with the employment policies?
sure. This education policy certainly matches the employment policy, because this provides the holistic development. This provides the skill development, entrepreneurship skill. Means the human being, or the person or the student should have the each and every quality of the employability, as well as the human being, as well as a social worker. So this policy certainly meets that particular policy also.
Thank you, sir. And then next one is Supriya. And the good evening, sir. Thank you for this info. And what is the percentage share of 40 to Indian GDP?
Presently, share of GDP is 18%.
Then Rudra, very informative presentation, sir. And the next question is from Sheikh. And the question is, which type of credit system is being followed at present?
Presently, the trade system of agricultural produce is everyone is knowing that they bring their produce in the mandis, and the auction will be there, and whatever the rate is posed by the purchaser, certainly farmer has to sell out that produce, because some of the produce or some of the commodities are the perishable in nature, so it is his problem, he has to sell. So this present, this is the system. Or the second system is the auction at their own field. Some of the contractor reaches to that particular field if it is in big amount, or is having the good crop. So some of the contractor reaches to that field, and they can purchase, or they can keep all the orchards, or all the vegetable, or all whatever the produce is there, they can purchase. And this is the second process of marketing. Third one is the buyback system. What happens, the some of the traders, or some of the purchaser, what they do, they provide the input to the farmers, and they certainly they bonds with the farmers, and they take their produce as and when it is being harvested. So the buyback system is also there. These are some of the methods which is been in vogue, but presently in vogue in the marketing system of agricultural produce.
Next, we have Dr. Pradhan, Dr. Ram Rakesh Sharma, Dr. Maras. Like chat box is full of like messages, sir. It's very good presentation. And the next question from Dr. D. Shatish. And the question is there any new contemporary tools accessible for aged people?
Sorry, sir, I don't know about this.
And then next one is like Meenakshi Kumari. And the question is why there is still that much of lack of opportunity in this field?
No. I am saying again and again, there is a much opportunity in this sector. Much opportunity, because this is the biggest sector in the country. This is the biggest center in the country, the sector in the country. It may be the basis or the source of livelihood. It is the source of entrepreneurship skill is developed in this sector. This is the source of GDP. This is the, you can say, this is a part of the Indian economy. So this is the biggest sector. There is a much opportunities is there. That's why this sector should be strengthened, should be developed. And this, if this education policy will be implemented 100%, certainly this sector will be developed to that much extent as desired level.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the answer. And the next question is from 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬, and the question is, sir, if someone drop out from the integrated course in the third year, is it possible to join in other university for the fourth year to get the degree, sir?
Certainly, if this national education policy is being implemented in that particular university, you can do so. This is advocating if a student drop out, if he withdraws the semester, he joined some other universities, he joined some other institute, certainly his credits will be there. Whatever the courses he offered during that period will be reserved for him, and his academic credit of bank will be redeemed as and when he or she want to do.
And the next question is from Sunil Kumar, and the question is, sir, is there any important in job getting chance if the student is converted UGC institute to ICR institute regarding this policy?
No issue. Any student, because the institutes may be governed, may be regulated by the ICR, may be regulated by the UGC, maybe by the state government. There is no issue. A student can shift from one institute to another institute, because the now you know the Department of Education, Department of HRD to Department of Education is there. शिक्षा विभाग जो हो गया है, उसके अंदर UGC is also advocating the same thing, ICR is also advocating the same thing, or even state government institute are also advocating the same thing. So if it is being implemented, certainly any student who can be transferred from the ICR institute to the UGC institute.
Thank you so much, sir, for this question. And like chat box is full of, as you can see, sir, like nice presentation, this kind of message.
Thank
And
you.
I think we have like 2 or 3 more questions. We take 2 or 3 more questions. And the question is Dr. Anshul Sharma. Sir, why there are no recruitment for biotech professional in regular jobs?
This is the
Yes,
requirement of that particular,
yeah,
what I
yes,
should say, it is the requirement of that particular institutes, whether it is required or not. But if you are having the skill, you can earn, certainly.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And the next question is from Dr. Pirzada. The question is, thank you so much, sir, for this presentation. And my question is, what would be job prospect of a certificate or diploma holder in agri and allied sciences, and when we can even candidate will honors degree are jobless? Like, I think sir
Bilkul.
is wanted to ask that
So
like
this
job.
is a
Okay.
very valid question. I want to know.
Mm.
So we are pursuing the governments. If we are providing the diploma or the certificate course or the advanced diploma courses to the student, there should be the job in the state government. There should be the job in the private sector. There should be the job in the industries. There should be job. Must be job. If we will implement this particular national education policy, and the youth will come out having the certificate, having the diploma, having any other the advanced diploma or the degree, they should be placed somewhere else. So if this education policy will be implemented, certainly the issue will be resolved at the state government level also, and we are also pursuing the same thing.
So thank you so much, sir. Dr. Ankush sir, are you there, sir? Ankur sir?
जी मैं सुन पा रहा हूँ। हो गया सब पे चैट
Sir,
बॉक्स का जो हाँ
yes sir, yes sir. Question is
जी
हो गए लगभग.
जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दीन साहब कि मेरे आह्वान पे, मेरे आग्रह पे आपने ज्वाइन किया। मैं इस समय ज्यादा इसलिए नहीं बोल पाया कि मैं ट्रेवलिंग में हूँ, तो टेक्निकल ग्लिच है, तो मुझे क्षमा करिएगा, और मेरा धन्यवाद आप तक पहुंचे कि आपने ज्वाइन किया।
थैंक यू अंकुर जी, आपने हमें ये एक अवसर दिया, इसके लिए मैं अपने तहे दिल से आपका धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूँ।
ये मेरे लिए और मेरे पार्टिसिपेंट्स के लिए आशीर्वाद है सर, अवसर नहीं, आपका आशीर्वाद।
थैंक यू,
आगे
थैंक
भी इसी तरीके का सहयोग आपका मिलता रहेगा, ऐसी उम्मीद करता हूँ।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, थैंक यू।
जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर जी। सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स लेफ्ट कर सकते हैं।